Your person is beginning to feel a profound shift, one that suggests the separation between you is finally starting to dissolve. With time and distance, they've been forced to confront the truth, not only about themselves but about the karmic attachments and external influences that contributed to the space between you. These revelations haven't been easy for them. In fact, they've been painful. Each realization strips away another layer of illusion, and what's left is the raw recognition that they had something beautiful with you, something real, and they let it slip through their fingers. There's a deep sense of regret that lingers within them, a heavy awareness that in some way, they failed you. Whether it was through neglect, fear, pride, or distraction, they now see how their actions, or lack thereof, played a role in the emotional distance that grew between you. But this is your emperor. Despite their flaws and past mistakes, this person carries the essence of strength, resilience, and deep emotional responsibility. They're not someone who runs forever. And now, after everything, they are finding the inner courage to return to you, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. They're making their way back to you with intention, with clarity, and with a sincere desire to rebuild what was lost. Their longing for you is not fleeting or shallow. It's intimate. It's aching. They yearn not only for your touch, but for the connection that once made them feel whole. They miss your voice, your energy, the way your presence brought them peace in a chaotic world. They've been silently pleading with the universe to bring you back into their life. Every night, they send out silent prayers or thoughts, asking for one more chance, one more opportunity to make things right, to prove that their love for you is real and enduring. Your person wants you to let them in again. They're not just looking for forgiveness, they're hoping for a new beginning. The weight of their past behavior, how they took you for granted, is something they carry every day. Now, they are alone with their thoughts, watching you from a distance. Whether it's through social media, mutual connections, or just the energy they still feel from you, they see you glowing, growing, and living your life without them. And while they're proud of your strength, it also breaks their heart. They realize now that they didn't truly see your worth until it was nearly too late. What they're coming to understand is that the only path back to you isn't through words or grand gestures, it's through karma. They know they have to face the consequences of their past choices, and they're not running from it anymore. It's not easy. In fact, it's killing them to think about the possibility that you might have moved on, that someone else might be holding your heart now. But even through the pain, there is a quiet hope burning inside of them, a belief that you can still feel their energy, that you sense their spirit drawing closer again. They are determined now. There is a fire within them that wasn't there before, a resolve to win your love back, not through manipulation or charm, but by being the version of themselves that you always believed they could be. They're asking the universe for help every day, seeking divine guidance on how to heal this connection. They're working on themselves, not just so they can return to you, but so they can be worthy of the love they once took for granted. This isn't just about reconciliation, it's about redemption. They know this journey back to you won't be simple. They're aware that trust must be rebuilt, that wounds must be acknowledged and tended to. But they're ready for that work. They no longer fear the vulnerability required to open up. In fact, they crave the kind of raw, honest connection that only you brought into their life. You are not just a memory to them, you are the person who awakened their soul. And though it took time, silence, and separation for them to see the truth, they see it now with unwavering clarity. They are preparing themselves for the moment when they can come forward with open hands and a heart full of truth. Their ultimate hope? That you'll see their growth, feel their sincerity, and find it in your heart to fall in love with them all over again. Because this time, they won't take it for granted. This time, they'll choose you every single day, and make sure you never have to question it again. I've always known about this connection between us, even though I pretended not to. From the very beginning, something about you felt familiar, like a quiet pull that kept drawing me in, even when I tried to act indifferent. Deep down, I was fully aware of what was happening between us. I could see the way your eyes searched mine, hoping to find a flicker of the same emotions that overwhelmed your heart. I noticed the small gestures, the way you tried to show me, in countless subtle ways, how meaningful and rare this connection was. And yet, instead of embracing it, I chose to conceal my feelings. I acted like none of it mattered, like I didn't feel the same intensity, and for that, I'm not proud. I know that my coldness confused you. I know it hurt. You gave so much of yourself, your time, your attention, your vulnerability. I could feel your heart trying to reach mine, even when I tried to build walls around it. You were searching for reassurance, for something in my gaze that said, I'm here with you, I feel it too. But I disappointed you. Instead of meeting your vulnerability with my own, I responded with distance. I told myself I was protecting both of us, perhaps even that I wasn't ready, but the truth is, I was scared. I was afraid of the depth of what I was feeling, afraid of how much power you had over me, afraid of being seen and truly known. Every time I pulled away, I know you felt a sense of abandonment. And the worst part is, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve the confusion, the mixed signals, or the emotional silence I gave you. You were always kind, always giving, and so sincere. I've replayed those moments countless times in my head, when I could have reached out, could have said something real, could have just looked at you and admitted what I was feeling. But instead, I buried everything. And you paid the price for that silence. It's important for you to know that I wasn't distant because I didn't care. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I cared too much. I loved you, though I didn't know how to show it. I've never been taught how to express love in a healthy, open way. Growing up, I never really learned what it meant to be emotionally present with someone. So when I met you and felt something so powerful, so raw and honest, I panicked. I didn't know what to do with a love that felt so real. And instead of stepping forward, I withdrew. Not because I didn't feel, but because I felt everything, all at once, and didn't know how to carry it. Even now, when you're near me, I feel my heart start to race. My body responds before my mind can catch up. You have this effect on me that no one else ever has. It's like being in your presence awakens something inside of me that's been asleep for too long. And yet, I still struggle to say the words that matter. There are so many things I wish I had the courage to tell you. Things I've rehearsed in my mind 100 times, hoping that someday I might find the right moment. I want to tell you how beautiful you are, not just in the way you look, but in the way you love, the way you care, the way you bring light into a room without even trying. You are, without question, the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me. When you opened up to me, when you told me how deeply you felt, I was stunned. I remember thinking, how could someone love me this much? I felt like the most fortunate, most seen, most cherished person alive. For a moment, I allowed myself to believe that maybe I could be worthy of that kind of love. That maybe, even with all my flaws, someone like you could truly want me. And now, looking back, I realize that love like this doesn't come around often. What we had, what we still might have, is rare. It's the kind of connection people spend their entire lives searching for. And I let fear keep me from fully embracing it. But I don't want to hide behind fear anymore. I don't want to pretend I don't care when my heart is screaming the opposite. I want to be honest, finally, about what you mean to me. I want to learn how to show love, even if it's messy or imperfect. Because if there's one thing I'm sure of, it's this: I don't want to go through life never having told you how much you matter to me. You made me feel like I could be more than I believed I was. You gave me a glimpse of a love that heals, that softens, that transforms. And for that, I will always be grateful. You truly are the most unexpected, most extraordinary gift I've ever received. And if I ever find the words, if I ever gather the courage, I hope you'll still be there to hear them. You left an unforgettable imprint on your partner's soul, a mark so deep that it continues to echo in their spirit long after you've parted ways. You stood by them, not just as a lover, but as their divine counterpart, a mirror to their soul, and a catalyst for their healing. You showed up with open arms and an open heart, embodying a love that was rare, unconditional, and sacred. But they couldn't receive it, not fully. Consumed by fear, haunted by past wounds and unresolved trauma, they turned away from you. Rather than rise to meet the love you offered, they rejected it, not because it wasn't real, but because it was, and that terrified them. In their refusal, you saw your own reflection too. You recognized your worth and your value. You understood that staying would mean abandoning yourself, so you made the difficult yet empowered choice to let them go. You didn't chase. You didn't plead. You stood in your truth and watched them walk away, trusting that whatever was meant for you would never truly pass you by. That moment, when you chose yourself, became a turning point, not just for you, but for them. Your absence became louder than your presence ever was. In the silence that followed, they were left alone with their thoughts, forced to confront the consequences of their own choices. It made them question everything: what love really is, what's real versus illusion, and whether they made the biggest mistake of their life. Suddenly, the world they had constructed around ego, defense mechanisms, and emotional walls began to crumble. And at the heart of it all, they realized you were the one. The one who truly saw them. The one who offered peace, balance, and unconditional love in a world that had taught them only survival and fear. Now, in the shadows of their solitude, they are quietly yearning for you. They may never admit it aloud, but within their spirit, they are calling you back. Every day, they try to manifest your return, not just your physical presence, but your energy, your light, your essence. They replay memories, hoping to feel even a fraction of the connection they once had with you. They scroll through old messages, stalk your social media, ask mutual friends about you, and try to convince themselves that the door isn't fully closed. But the truth is, something fundamental has shifted. The energy you now embody is entirely different from the person you were when they first met you. Reclaiming your power wasn't just an act of strength, it was a spiritual declaration. You took your pain, your heartbreak, and your longing, and transmuted it into wisdom, grace, and self-love. You rose like a phoenix from the ashes of what once was, no longer tethered to their choices or validation. And in doing so, you forced them to wake up. Your growth catalyzed their awakening. The moment you stopped giving your energy so freely, they began to see their own shortcomings. You didn't just walk away, you elevated. And that elevation destroyed their ego. They thought they could control the narrative, thought you would always be there waiting. But you didn't just leave, you leveled up. You beat them at their own emotional game, not through manipulation, but through healing. And in that, you flipped the script entirely. Now, they see you clearly, not as someone who needed them, but as someone who chose them, and could have continued to choose them had they shown up differently. They see you as a powerful divine feminine, fearless, bold, intuitive, and deeply grounded. Your energy is no longer chaotic or seeking, it's calm, focused, and magnetic. You've become a beacon, someone who doesn't chase, but attracts. And they feel that shift in every part of their being. They remember how you brought a sense of peace they didn't know they needed, how your presence created balance in their otherwise stormy inner world. Your love wasn't loud, but it was constant, an anchor during their most turbulent times. And now, without it, they feel the chaos creeping back in. They think of how your laughter lit up the room, how your wisdom helped them see themselves more clearly, and how your compassion held space for their pain even when they couldn't articulate it. What they didn't understand then, they're beginning to grasp now. That your love wasn't ordinary. It wasn't transactional. It was sacred. And it's only in your absence that they've come to understand the depth of what they lost. But while they are stuck in reflection and longing, you are moving forward. You're stepping into your destiny, aligning with your higher purpose, and attracting relationships that meet you where you are. You are no longer someone who waits, you are someone who creates. And though your energy still lingers in their mind, they now have to confront a sobering truth: you didn't leave because you stopped caring. You left because you started caring about yourself more. And that is the most powerful awakening of all.